The summer of 55. Theo, pick up the phone, I shout. The ringtone of the old phone is driving me crazy. I'm currently baking an apple pie, and I can't stand it when I get interrupted. Theodore! I yell, louder this time. He must be upstairs and doesn't hear me. Or he pretends not to hear me, as so often. After 50 years of marriage, I know this man inside and out. I sigh, wipe off the flour on my dotted apron, and pick up the phone. It's my cousin Alice. Stella, thank God, she says. She sounds upset. What's wrong? I ask worriedly. Aunt Fiorentina has died yesterday, Alice says breathlessly. My heart stops beating for a second. I have to sit down on a chair because my sight is getting dull. Have I heard right? Aunt Fiorentina is dead? Stella, are you okay? Alice asks. I want to answer, but I can't. My tongue is tied and my head empty. Then, after a while, I respond. Yes. Alice says that I must book a flight to Italy as soon as possible, explains who told her, that she's sad although she didn't know Fiorentina well, and that she's very sorry for me since we were so close, but I don't really listen to her jabbering. I cut her word off. Alice, I think I need some time to process what you've just told me. Can I call you back later? Of course. I hang up and bury my head in my hands. I can't even cry, but my whole body hurts. This can't be real. It just can't. Fiorentina was like a mother to me. I think of all the stuff we've been through, and my mind wanders back to the day both our lives changed forever. It was a warm day in the summer of 55, a few weeks after Fiorentina's 17th birthday, and I was sitting on the stairs before our doorway, waiting for her to pick me up. Although Fiorentina was 6 years older than me, we were like best friends, and she watched me whenever my parents couldn't. My mother stuck her head out of the door behind me. Where the hell is she? She's already 10 minutes late, she said fretfully. I shrugged. I don't mind waiting. My mother gave me a cold stare. She hated her sister. She had never admitted it, but everybody, even Fiorentina, knew it. I suppose it was because Fiorentina was prettier and more popular than her. Fiorentina had blue eyes, freckles on her cheeks, and a beaming smile. Her doll face was framed by her long auburn brown hair. It used to shine like liquid chocolate in the sun. Or maybe Mom didn't like her because she was wild and full of passion. Mom disliked everything that was wild and unorganized. She was the opposite of her younger sister, strict and cold. The only thing they had in common were their blue eyes. But Fiorentina's eyes were warm and sparkling like the ocean. My mother got eyes that were like two pieces of pale ice. Hey! Fiorentina came running up to me. Sorry. Where have you been? You were supposed to be here 10 minutes ago, Mom said sharply. I'm sorry. I couldn't decide which dress I should wear, Fiorentina said and winked at me. I smiled back. Let's go eat an ice cream. She took me by the hand. Be back before dinner, I dare you, my mother shouted after us, but we had already disappeared around the corner. The square with the best Chilteria in town was crowded as usual. Older people were having a drink at the little cafe in the middle of the square, while teenagers were sitting on the benches, talking and smoking. The boys turned their heads at Fiorentina like they always did, but she crossed the square without looking left or right. I had always admired her for her beauty. I was wishing to look more like her, to have her full lips and blue eyes, but at least we had the same dark hair. I loved it when people thought we were sisters. You picked the right dress, I said, admiring the floral pattern on the skirt. Fiorentina worked as a seamstress in a small shop in downtown. She smiled proudly. I made it myself. Do you like it? I was about to answer, but a deep voice prompted me. I love it. You're very talented. We turned around and saw that it was Emilio, the bad boy of the town. He and his friends were hanging out next to the entrance of the Gelteria and observing us. Or rather, Fiorentina. It didn't come as a surprise that Emil tried to hit on her, considering the fact that he had already dated literally every girl in Venosa. Thank you, Fiorentina said casually. So, he came closer and grinned at us. Any plans for tonight? The answer came like a shot. Yes. Cancel that then. We're going out tonight, he solemnly declared. Fiorentina laughed while eyeing him from head to toe. Me and you? Forget it. She shook her head and entered the gelateria. Why did you say no? I asked. Because he's a hoodlum and a lady killer. But he's handsome and funny. Fiorentina grinned at me. He's in fact very good looking, but he's got to learn some manners before I even flirt with the idea of going out with him. She was right. Emilio was tall and had a slight build. His hair was jet black and combed to the side with grease. He had tan skin and a pretty face, although he had a nasty scar under his eye, probably from a fight he had gotten into. That wasn't uncommon. He was known as a bad boy, the kind that could get away with anything. Despite this, most people liked him because he was charming, especially the girls. He was also the best car mechanic in town and could fix any type of technical glitch. I liked him too, and I was pretty sure that Fiorentina wasn't as uninterested as she acted towards him. After we paid, Emilio was still waiting outside, leaning on the wall. I'll pick you up at 8, he said when we walked by with each an ice cream in our hand. When did I agree to go out with you? Fiorentina asked and rolled her eyes at him. Technically, you didn't, but your eyes did. For the first time today, Fiorentina blushed, because she knew that he was right. Where will we go? She asked instead of answering. I thought we could go to the fair. It's the highlight of the year. I mean, on condition you agree. He tried to sound like a real gentleman, which made me giggle. He smiled at me. Fiorentina tried to hide her smile inside. Be punctual, she said and walked off. I followed her. I couldn't help myself but to turn around to see Emilio's reaction, though. I saw how he pressed his hands together and whispered, Thank you, Jesus. Why can't I go to the fair? You're only 11 years old, Mom said while washing the dishes. I'm old enough, I protested. There's no way I'll let you go alone. Maybe if Fiorentina offered to take you with her, I would agree. She can't take me with her tonight. She has a date, I said. Mom turned around. A date? With whom? Emilio Mancini. What? Mom almost screamed. What's wrong with Emilio? I asked, although I already knew the answer. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned Fiorentina's date. I can't believe Fiorentina's gone out with this uneducated blighter, Mom said to Dad, who was reading the newspaper on the couch. I think she knows what she's doing. And Emilio's okay. He fixed my car a few weeks ago and gave him a discount, he said, without even looking up. That uninterested behavior was typical for him. He didn't care about anything or anyone. It was disappointing sometimes, but I would have chosen it over Mom's brawling any day. I left the room while Mom continued to complain about Fiorentina and Emilio. As soon as Mom and Dad went to sleep, I got dressed and sneaked out of the house. I wasn't going to miss the biggest event of the year. And by that, I didn't mean the fair, but Fiorentina's date with Emilio. When I arrived at the city center, the fair was already in full swing. Music was blasting out the loudspeakers, and bright lights illuminated the whole area. I strolled around until I spotted Fiorentina and Emilio waiting in the line for the Ferris wheel. They were talking and laughing, apparently getting on very well. When it was their turn, Emilio helped Fiorentina to climb in the gondola. He sure knew how to treat a girl. While I was kind of stalking them, I noticed that I wasn't the only one. A lot of people kept staring at them, and I overheard two elderly women saying that Fiorentina shouldn't hang out with a guy like Emilio. Why couldn't they just mind their own business? I was so tired of these frustrated housewives tattling all the time. Later, Emilio bought cotton candy for Fiorentina, and they sat down on a stone bench. He gave her his black leather jacket, which he used to wear all the time. I hid behind a bush to listen to their conversation. So, do you already regret having agreed to go out with me? Emilio asked and raised his eyebrow. Fiorentina grinned. Not yet. You should ask me if I regret having asked you to go out with me yet, Emilio said, and put his arms around her shoulders. Fiorentina just laughed. She didn't even think of the possibility that Emilio could regret that. I mean, who would? To be honest, I judged you without actually knowing you. never would have thought that we would get along so well, Fiorentina said. I don't blame you. I've got quite a bad reputation. Emilio shrugged. That's true, but I shouldn't have listened to the rumors that people kept spreading about you. I'm glad that you gave me the chance to prove these rumors wrong. He smiled and leaned down to kiss her, but she moved back. He lifted his eyebrow, like he always did when he was confused or trying to be funny. Are they all wrong, though? Fiorentina asked. Well, let's say I might have made some mistakes in the past. She crossed her arms and scanned him. Yes, I've heard of your entertaining relationships. Emilio sighed and leaned back. Listen, I know I used to talk to many girls and stuff, but to be clear, I've never used them. And this time, I'm being serious. You're special. I would never want to mess this up. Fiorentina bit her lip and smiled a little. I can't believe I'm doing that, she said when Emilio finally kissed her. I had to try all the girls in town to realize that you're the jackpot, you know? He joked, and she rolled her eyes at him. Shut up already. Unfortunately, I thought this joke was hilarious and started to giggle, which caused him to turn around. Stella? What in God's name are you doing here? Fiorentina asked. I could tell that she didn't approve my stalking. But Emilio was relaxed as always. Hey kid, how are you? Fine, I answered shyly. Let me guess. Your mother doesn't know you're here, Fiorentina said. I could feel my face getting all red and I looked at the ground. She's going to kill you if she finds out that you were here. Emil took my hand and said, Then we're better not telling her, huh? Fiorentina grinned and she didn't seem angry anymore. Emilio and Fiorentina let me can tossing, where I won a small teddy bear. They took me on another ride on a Ferris wheel and bought me roasted almonds. It was a perfect evening, and at midnight Emilio walked us home. I slunk back into our house, and when I was in my room, I rushed to the window and witnessed how they kissed goodbye. That night, I fell asleep with the biggest smile on my face.